Welcome to Creative Bites, your go-to podcast for an inspiring mix of creativity, entrepreneurship, communications, and much more. I'm your host, Ivona Fluda, and in each episode, we will bring you compelling stories from the movers and shakers across various industries. We will discover how ideas evolve, how communication shapes our world, and how the entrepreneurial spirit drives progress. Whether you're looking for inspiration, innovation, or just a good story, you will find it here. So tune in, join the conversation, and explore the many facets of creativity with us. The following conversation is with Andrew Fung, a dedicated social impact activist and entrepreneur. He is the founder and president of Homeless Entrepreneur, an organization committed to eradicating urban homelessness through the promotion of work and active citizenship among homeless individuals. Andrew is deeply passionate about forging meaningful professional relationships and actively participates in community engagement to support and progress social causes. This year, he is spearheading the Great Walk in July to draw attention to the global homelessness crisis. The event is a symbolic 150-kilometer trek designed to represent the 150 million homeless individuals worldwide, with each kilometer symbolizing 1 million people who are experiencing homelessness. The trek will conclude with a sleep-out event in Paris, France, aligning with the 33rd Olympic Summer Games. I will be participating in the Great Walk this year. Our goal is to motivate those affected by homelessness and their potential supporters by demonstrating our dedication to ending homelessness, thereby fostering quicker connections between these groups and accelerating the resolution of their homelessness. Andrew, it's such a great privilege to talk to you today. I remember that you shared with me your story about walking from Zurich to Davos, if I remember that correctly, this January. I can imagine the journey was long and tiring, and for sure it was already very cold in Switzerland. But I know that that's not the only journey you have to say and share with us. I would be very curious about the journey that led you to found Homeless Entrepreneur. Could you please share that with us?
Yeah, well, brief mention about the Great Walk. We walked 150 kilometers in 5 days for 150 million homeless people around the world. I was wearing a boot because I was getting infiltrations in my right heel for 3 months and actually took it off 5 weeks before. So I wasn't even 100%. I was like 80% my heel, which ended up in tendonitis in my left foot, fluid in the right, but worth it. A little bit of pain. No gain, no pain, no gain, right? So that was a challenge, but it's nothing in comparison to the 150 million homeless people, right? So we give our best, and that starts from my story, which is the question you asked me about my relationship with homelessness and also empowering myself and others out of it. So we raised 300,000 euros to bridge entrepreneurs and investors together, and didn't work out as well as I'd like it to. The partners spent the money in 6 months on salaries. I saw 1,200 of that because I wanted to make sure that the employees got paid first. And long story short, it went from being the best moment. My son was born 9 months before that. We raised funds, and then that quickly turned into the worst moment. And that's when I entered a state of homelessness, and then I had to help myself, and then that allowed me to help others. And when you lose almost everything, it gives you an opportunity to focus on what you really love, because there's no one that can threaten to take that away from you. And that's how Homeless Entrepreneur started. So I had a personal experience, and I wasn't able to receive the support I needed by the traditional assistance-based solutions that are mainly provided by governments and NGOs. I would like to highlight, I do think they do an amazing job. It just doesn't reach everyone, and I had to face that reality. And after I helped myself, I wanted to help others. And ever since, we've been working on developing programs and projects, which are models that can be scalable. And that's how Homeless Entrepreneur was born. And ever since that, we tried to make as many mistakes as possible and learn from them and not repeat them. And as a result, we're helping people around the world.
I can imagine this journey was also challenging for you, getting out of homelessness and then creating the organization to support people like yourself, people like everyone can be, right? We never know what's going to happen in our lives. My question would be, from that very moment when you decided to create the organization and support others, what have been some of the most significant challenges you have faced, and how did you overcome them?
Well, I would say working with people is probably the biggest challenge, right? Everybody has their own story, their own challenges, their own fears, their own opportunities, and understanding that everybody's unique, and at the same time trying to find ways to model and scale what we're doing so we can lower the cost of helping people. So the biggest challenge is helping people, and the other biggest challenge is teaching other people how to help. So really you have those that are experiencing homelessness and those that want to help. And many times people believe the ones that are helping are only those that are not homeless. But you also have to keep in mind that people that are experiencing homelessness are educating the people that are helping them as well to empathize, to be more human, and to think about how they can help their society. So there is an exchange of knowledge there and opportunities on both sides. And we're trying to highlight that so that way people appreciate everyone involved, not just trying to take a picture for helping another person, because that homeless individual is also helping other people improve the cracks that have been created. And I think, that's one of the hardest things. Homelessness is a consequence of the design society has created. And from there, we're trying to find ways to improve the design. And you have to focus on, we go to the World Economic Forum because that's decision makers of investment are there, right? So we have to improve the way we invest in improving society. And if you look at the SDGs, no poverty is number 1. And 17 is partnerships. So we look to build partnerships so that way we can reduce the cost of reaching the goal of no poverty.
And from all of the partnerships that you have created so far, which one would say is your favorite one or the most promising one?
Well, I would say my favorite one would be everyone that works well, right? Anywhere from an individual on the team, a volunteer, an intern, a partner. I would like to thank IBM for their amazing support. They've really helped us professionalize what we're doing. IBM Skills Build is empowering people through free education, which is amazing. And then, we can look at a crypto platform like Bit2Me. They've provided tremendous support ever since COVID as well. We have, so many different partners to thank. And I don't think I can say we're more grateful for any of them. Each one plays a role in developing our community. And obviously what we're doing right now is we're looking to create more economic stability for our organization. And we're doing that in various ways, developing projects that can create sustainable income and revenue for the organization, like the social impact room. That's one of them that's quite important, and also the Great Walk. And on top of that, we're also trying to find ways to find partnerships that can give us more sustainability. So we're looking to raise 1.5 million this year so we can help more than 21,000 people around the world. And also we're really looking to create an endowment of 5 million so we can use the interest to cover the operating costs. So that way we don't have to run around looking for money, and we can focus on using those funds to actually carry out the work. So those are the main goals that we have for this coming year. And as we do that, it's about investing and reducing the cost and lowering the barriers, and so people have more opportunities to participate in society again.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. You mentioned two projects that you are running. You mentioned the Great Walk, but also the social impact initiatives. Are there any other initiatives that you are having under your umbrella?
Well, I mean, there are so many initiatives. The Social Impact Room is meant to be in 29 cities within before the end of next year, and that's to basically unite tourism and the hotel industry to create local impact. Then we have the EU report, which is a study on how 12 European cities are addressing homelessness based on assistance from empowering-based models. And that's a beautiful project that we're working on that we'll present at the European Parliament. Then we have a piano project called 12 Cities, in which a pianist named Guillaume Benet is composing one song per city that represents how he thinks it's addressing it. We also have a sculpture. I'll move for 1 second. Hopefully nothing falls over too much. You heard a little bit of noise, but this, I don't know if you can see it.
Oh,
But, okay.
Yeah.
I go like that. That's easier. So you can see it. So this is a sculpture. This is the small version. We're actually trying to place it in Davos. And if everything goes well, we plan on giving it presence there within the framework of those that allow us to put it there. And so we use art, we use music, we use research, we use programs and projects to really inspire our community. And it's important to keep in mind, we have to focus on the core business or the core interest of the people we're working with. So it's not just about receiving funds, it's about how we can enrich our community in that process.
You mentioned something very interesting, and I'm very curious to learn more about the travel tourism initiative that you have. Could you please share more?
Yeah, well, the Social Impact Room is an initiative we created with a boutique hotel, eco-sustainable, called Hotel Grau in Barcelona. And basically, they destine the profit of one room once a week to create social impact through homeless entrepreneur. And then we also have the Social Impact Room breakfast. And with that Social Impact Room breakfast, we get to know the guests, talk about what we're doing, learn about them, and see how we can collaborate and build an international volunteer force. And we even have part of the project. I'll show you an example. Kalu is a Nigerian homeless entrepreneur, and he creates bracelets. And so we're working on the process of commercializing them to generate more income for himself and other individuals. So we did a first test just to kind of see how it was. We ordered 52, and that increased his monthly salary from $50 to $125 that month. But that just small purchases to see how it is to give gifts and see how we can actually start selling it to raise income for himself in our programs. And as you can imagine, his wife was quite happy to more than double the income of their household that month. So we're bringing people in from our programs. We're learning about the needs of the hotel industry and also the tourists. And at the same time, we're building a network that unites like-minded individuals that run hotels and boutiques that are eco-friendly, sustainable friendly, if you will. So that way they can create a network of people that care about going that extra mile to improve the experience for tourism. And at the same time, that improves the opportunities for cities because it's healthier tourism. And I think that's rewarding for everyone involved.
You mentioned that this initiative is right now being run in 29 cities, right? Is that just?
It's in Barcelona right now, and we're developing the process with the Sade Business School. We worked on developing the expansion plan, and now we're in the process of executing that. So that way we can have 29 cities that have at least one social impact room in it. And it's meant to unite, bring people together. And we're very excited about making it happen. We're obviously looking for our sponsors and partners to make it easier to do that. Anywhere from mobility to food to sponsorship with what we're doing to execute it. And we're very excited about the results we've already received.
Beautiful. And this is going to happen on the European continent, or would you like to expand also beyond?
Well, it's always about international impact. So the first stage was making sure it works in Spain, in Barcelona. And then the next stage is on a European scale. And then afterwards, we plan on expanding in other continents.
Wonderful. Thank you for making that happen. It's a wonderful initiative. I know that you have been in this field already for a while, but before that, you had a career as a digital marketer, right?
I've done so many different things. Marketing is one, and I became conscious of marketing after spending 2,000 euros on a two-pager, or I think it was one-pager, sorry, in the newspaper. And I said, I'm never going to pay for advertising ever. Of course, that doesn't mean it's not important. I don't want to say I'm anti-advertising. It just pushed me in the direction of thinking about how to increase our communication so that way we can get better results. So in my opinion, there are three different types of communication. When it's not good enough or you have to force the placement, you pay for it. When you have a good story, you don't pay for it. And when it's really good, they pay you for it. So that's how we gauge our communication. And we're always trying to figure out how to raise funds through what we do. And in that process, obviously, there's the pro bono exchange, if you will, of being invited without any money. But we do want to make sure that our time is valued, because it's very urgent to help people. And if we're doing one thing, it means we're not doing another. So I do think that really pushed me into understanding the world of marketing. And if I want to help myself, I also have to understand how to help others. And that's where collaborations come in.
Of course, I can imagine that experience, in marketing in the past also have helped you a lot in what you're doing these days, right? Developing the organization, having more global impact also in media, and making sure that the voices that are usually not heard are being heard. And from all of the voices and the stories that you have right now on the table, and the people that you have helped so far, what would be the one that really kind of stuck with you, or it's very close to your heart these days?
It's so hard because we've helped so many people. We've attended more than 5,000 people. We have, 43 inspirational success stories, and nearing 500 individuals that we've helped in a significant manner. I'll just name one of that comes to mind. There was a guy named Juan Mascuñano. He was in the street for 21 years in Madrid, and he was an IT. He was a web page programmer, and he was into building web pages, and he liked IT. And we built a friendship. We helped him with the program. He was receiving support from IBM, and he was going away from begging, because he made up to 6,000 euros a month begging on LinkedIn. How do you convince that person that he needs to program and make much less? That's not easy.
That's a good question.
So the question is, how could we help him with the transition so that way it also improved the quality of his life, right? So understanding that he knew that that wasn't normal. He could do that in specific moments like Christmas and other things like that, but it wasn't sustainable. He knew that. So that was a challenge. And we were nearing that, and we actually created a program called Let's Fly Together. And it brought people that could not walk physically, because a friend of mine has polio. And so he wasn't able to walk properly. And Juan was in a wheelchair as well. So it was bringing people together that couldn't walk physically or professionally together so they could learn how to fly gliders, right? Which is beautiful. And we did that with Juan. We went out there, the TV came out, beautiful interview. We had a nice lunch, but that day I could tell he wasn't all there. But I'm not a doctor. I don't really know. But it was memorable. And I remember saying bye and closing the door after I brought him in. And I found out the next day he died that night. And that was just heartbreaking. And I remember someone saying, like, check out the interview, because in the interview, he said that now he was good to go, right? So I think he decided to leave on a high note, and he literally went from like the street to heaven, if you will, to the skies. And that was hard. you know, because you end up loving the people that you work with, right? Obviously, you create different types of relationships with different people, but when I say love, you have respect for who they are without any expectations of any end result, but you just appreciate that person. And I think that was very hard because, you know, obviously you're sad about the loss, but if you think about it too, he left on the highest possible note. He was with friends, he was flying, like he was interviewed, like he had an amazing lunch, and he was surrounded by people that supported him. And although he died alone in the home that he was staying at, I think he had the best day of his life for a very long time. So I mean that's a story that kind of sticks to me, and also that kind of helped me come to the realization that you either help people have a dignified life or a dignified death. We all have to go at some moment, and I think that was something that I had to accept. And we can only help people try to live the best life they have until they're not here anymore. And that's what we do. And I think that's an antidote that represents, you know, we want to help people fly, and help them go as far as they can go. And then when their time's up, you know, just keep them in our memory.
That's a wonderful life mission. So thank you for making that happen. For anyone else who would be interested in joining you, or maybe also creating a different social impact, what would you advise? How to start in general?
Well, I mean, if they want to contact me, it's quite easy. You know, social media, my telephone number is +34 697 877 089. You can put that on there if you want to. My email is funk@homelessentrepreneur.org. Just reach out to me. And I'm more than happy to speak with anyone that contacts me. You know, I'm quite open about that. I think everyone's worth one coffee, maybe double shot of caffeine, or maybe just a short one. But I do think everyone deserves to be heard. And then from there, depending on the opportunities, when the conversation goes longer. And I'm more than happy to discuss opportunities either with our organization or others. But I think it's trying to understand how to connect with your community. And if it's with Homeless Entrepreneur, amazing. If it's with your community, amazing. If it's with another organization, amazing. But you need to understand why you're doing it and how to participate in a healthy way. Yeah. So I think everyone creates social impact by existing. From there, what can we do to improve? And I'm always happy to have that conversation, and it's a luxury to collaborate with those that will. You know, I'm very grateful for this opportunity to be able to participate. And from there, I just hope that we're able to help as many people as possible. And it's about being willing and able to try to make a change. And you can't ask for anything more than that. It's about creating an improvement in knowledge so we can recognize how to participate in positive change. And I hope people reach out to us. I hope they enjoy the conversation. But most importantly, I hope they make a step in being a more active citizen so we can end homelessness and empower people made of potential out of poverty.
And one last question. If you had a magic wand, what would you change in the world?
And that's an easy one. No homelessness. I mean, if I had a magic wand, there would be the opportunity for people to reach the goals within their means, right? And also to have the strength and be brave enough to make that happen, and have the love, support, and respect they need to continue, because not everyone makes it to the end. And you know, that magic wand would, you know, really be what our slogan is, which is empowering people made of potential out of homelessness and poverty. So there will always be relative poverty, obviously, but having a quality of life where people can smile instead of be in pain would be would be something worth wishing. And my daughter has like a magic wand around here somewhere. So I'll try to use that later.
So be it. Thank you so much, Andrew, for your time today. And congratulations on everything that you have done already for the communities all around the world. And thank you so much for making the difference.
My pleasure. And I just hope that more people listen to you and participate, and appreciate the opportunity, because every opportunity we have opens up many more for others. So thank you very much.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Creative Bites. It's been a pleasure sharing these stories and insights with you. Remember, creativity is all around us, ready to be discovered, nurtured, and celebrated. I'm Ivona Fluda, and until next time, keep creating, keep exploring, and keep inspiring. Thanks for listening, and goodbye for now.